Jamie Giddens,
Giddens!
João Pedro,
João Pedro, it's 3, Chelsea are running away.
and now Xavi Simons being added to a team that already had Cole Palmer,
City's boy is Chelsea's man.
Enzo Fernandez,
That is world class.
and Moises Caicedo.
Inside his own arm. Oh, Moises Caicedo!
Chelsea's new team is looking crazy. The 2025 season was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Blues, phase 1 of the Maresca project. Yet the team went above and beyond. They not only got Champions League football, but they also lifted 2 pieces of silverware. So how much better can this Chelsea team get now? Chelsea had already done quite a bit of business before the Xavi Simons rumors began. But the sale of João Felix made it very clear that they really wanted to bring in the former La Masia prodigy. It's funny, Xavi Simons is only 22 years old, yet it feels like he's been around forever because he attracted so much global attention on social media at a young age. Chelsea had tried to sign him back when he was 12, but he chose to remain in Spain. He was already world renowned at the time, and many people felt that he was going to be the future of the Barcelona midfield. That didn't happen though. Initially, he went to Paris Saint-Germain, where he barely featured, then transferred over to PSV. In the Eredivisie, we saw why he was so highly rated as a youngster. In the 2023 season, he got 19 goals and 8 assists in 34 league games. He shared the Golden Boot award and also won the KNVB Cup. He was a beast. PSV's great season triggered PSG's buyback clause in July of 2023, but Simons never played for PSG again. They immediately loaned him to RB Leipzig. In Germany, he continued showing everyone what he could do. On August 25th, he made his Bundesliga debut and put on a great performance. He scored a goal and set up 2 more in a 5-1 win over Stuttgart. Right away, fans could see that the kid was special. He played with confidence, creativity, and it looked like he'd been in the league for years. Then came the Champions League, where he made history. On October 25th against Red Star Belgrade, Xavi Simons scored and assisted in the same match, becoming the youngest Dutch player to do that in the Champions League since Arjen Robben. By the end of the 2023-2024 season, Xavi had played 32 Bundesliga games, scoring 8 goals and getting 11 assists, making him one of the league's top creators. Leipzig finished 4th in the table and secured a spot in the Champions League. For his first season in a new country, it couldn't have really gone any better. Leipzig were so happy with Xavi's performances that they extended his loan for another season in August of 2024. But the start of the 2024-2025 season didn't go as planned. In a Champions League match against Liverpool, Xavi picked up an ankle injury. It was a big blow. He missed a large part of the first half of the season, and for a young player trying to keep momentum, that kind of setback was tough. But Xavi didn't let it hold him back for long. After the winter break, he returned stronger. On January 12, 2025, in a match against Werder Bremen, he scored 2 goals in a 4-2 comeback win.
Xavi, great position, back in the team, and back with a bang.
It was his first brace in the Bundesliga, and it came just in his 40th appearance in the league. He was back. By the time the season ended, Xavi had played 25 Bundesliga matches, scoring 10 goals and providing 7 assists. A fantastic return, especially after missing so much time. Across all competitions, he had made about 33 appearances and tallied 11 assists in total. Over his 2 seasons in the Bundesliga, Xavi Simons put up some great numbers. 57 league games, 18 goals, 18 assists. That's 36 direct goal contributions in less than 60 games. But beyond the stats, he brought energy, flair, and intelligence to Leipzig's attack. He was always looking to make things happen, cutting in from the left, slipping through passes, or shooting from distance. Chelsea wanted him because he's a very versatile attacking midfielder. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play through the middle. No matter where he plays, he can punish the opposition. Although I do think Maresca probably wants him and Giddens rotating as the 2 left wingers. Simons is fearless, he loves to take on defenders, and he knows how to either create chances for his teammates or finish them himself. Whether it's a tricky dribble, a curling shot, or a clever through ball, he has all the tools. He's also very good off set pieces, whether it's free kicks, corners, or just crossing from open play. And his football intelligence is high, which means he moves smartly off the ball to get into dangerous areas. You will never see him standing still for long. It makes him perfect for Maresca's system because, as we've seen, the Italian likes to think outside the box and change the way the players are positioned depending on the opposition. With João Felix gone and Nkunku potentially leaving too, Chelsea needed another versatile player. Maresca sees Xavi as someone who fits perfectly into his style of football, a player who is technical, smart, and very attack-minded. Imagine him linking up with Cole Palmer, 2 young stars with great vision and the confidence to take over games. And the timing couldn't be better. Xavi Simons wants to play in the Champions League, and after Leipzig missed out on European football, he's eager to move on. He's reportedly made it very clear he prefers Chelsea over all the other clubs. Now, before Xavi Simons, Chelsea had already signed another top talent from the Bundesliga, Jamie Giddens. Giddens was a signing that Chelsea needed badly, not just because Jadon Sancho left, but because they desperately needed more left wingers. The right wing, stacked. But the left side was a bit empty. Mudryk was supposed to be that guy, the next big thing. But yeah, we all saw how that went. I honestly feel bad for him. Not only did he end up taking performance-enhancing drugs, by accident most likely, but he didn't even see his performances get enhanced. I mean, imagine getting banned for using a drug and it didn't even make you better. Anyways, Chelsea had to move on, and now they've picked up one of the most exciting left-wing talents in Europe. Let's look at the numbers. Giddens got 0.4 goals per 90, which is more than Pedro Neto, Madueke, and Sancho in the 2025 season. His assists were about the same, but what really stands out is how often he tried to take players on. His dribble attempts were way higher than any of Chelsea's wingers in the 2025 season. Now, of course, we do have to be realistic. He was playing in a different country, a different league, and a different setup. But Chelsea were very eager to bring him in. At Dortmund, he ran the show on the left. In the 2025 season, he scored 12 goals and got 5 assists. They're not world-class numbers, sure, but it's pretty impressive given the fact that Dortmund were not great. He wasn't in Klopp's title-winning team. He was in a side that finished 5th and struggled to create. But even then, Giddens was their most dangerous player in the final third. He was the one that was making things happen. In Germany, they literally call them the Unterschiedsspieler, which means difference maker. That says a lot. So imagine what he could do with better teammates around him. With the kind of quality Chelsea have, his numbers should go up. What makes Giddens so special is his speed and dribbling. He's crazy quick. But it's not just straight line sprinting. His feet are lightning quick as well. In 1v1s, he's a nightmare. No one in the Bundesliga attempted more take-ons than him. And when he finds a bit of space, he can destroy you with a shot. Now look, I get it. Some of you still have Timo Werner flashbacks. You hear Bundesliga winger and your mind jumps to missed sitters and offside runs. But Jamie Giddens is not Werner. Werner was always a bit wasteful even back in Germany. Giddens though, he's the complete opposite. He's good on the ball, he's smart, and he was actually deadly in front of goal. In the 2025 Bundesliga season, Giddens massively outperformed his expected goals. Based on the chances he had and the areas he shot from, he was supposed to score just 3.6 goals. Let's just be generous and round that up to 4. But he didn't score 4, he scored 8. That's not just luck. That's ruthless finishing. And the truth is, you can't coach speed or quick feet. Those things are natural. And Giddens has both in abundance. He's the kind of winger that every manager dreams of having. Especially Maresca. In Maresca's system, the job of the winger is pretty simple. Stay wide, stretch the defense, and give players like Palmer and Enzo Fernandez and the striker room to cook in the middle. Giddens is perfect for that. He's fast, he's direct, and he actually runs at his defender. Compare that to Sancho, who, let's be honest, had flashes of brilliance, but never had that explosive acceleration. At times, he would just dance in front of the defense with a couple of stepovers and no end product. Giddens though, he goes straight at you. Full speed. Just look at this graphic from The Athletic. In all of Europe, only Doku and Yamal attempted more take-ons per 90 than Giddens. That's pretty elite company to be a part of. Those are two of the best 1v1 players in the world. And Giddens isn't just trying to take on defenders for the sake of it. He's doing it efficiently. His take-on success rate was 45%. That means almost every other time he goes at a defender, he beats them. And here's the kicker. Not only is he good on the ball, but he's a huge weapon off the ball too. According to the Athletics data wheel, Giddens rated 70 out of 99 in his position for progressive receptions. That just means he's constantly putting himself in great positions to receive passes that move the team forward. So if you're receiving a lot of those, it means you're constantly helping your team advance. Giddens does that. His movement alone helps the team build out from the back. Now yes, defensively he's still learning. He's a skillful winger, not a fullback, but he's shown he's willing to track back. There's this one clip from 2 seasons ago where Dortmund were playing Leipzig. Dani Olmo made an overlapping run, and Giddens was a bit slow to react at first. But then he noticed it, chased Olmo down, and shut the attack down. That's what you want to see. A young player who learns and adapts. But of course, what really gets Chelsea fans excited is the attacking potential he has. Giddens is one of those wingers who can create magic out of nothing. He's still so young, which means he's only going to get better. Once he adds more goals and assists to his game, he could easily become the best left winger not just in the Premier League, but in all of Europe. And then one last thing. How funny is it that Chelsea just keep raiding Manchester City's academy? From Maresca to Lavia to Palmer to Dilap, and now Giddens. Meanwhile, the real Man City is still fielding Unk versions of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. You can't make this stuff up. Then we have João Pedro. At first, everybody was wondering why Chelsea are signing another striker after getting Dilap. But after that Club World Cup performance, I think it's very clear why the Brazilian was purchased. I don't think I've ever seen a player pay back his own transfer fee so quickly. João Pedro was literally chilling on a beach in Brazil, enjoying life, and then out of nowhere, Chelsea signed him. He hops on a plane, lands in the US, joins the squad midway through the Club World Cup, and immediately changes everything. He drops a brace in the semi-final, then in the final, he pulls off a ridiculous chip and makes an overlap run that lets Cole Palmer score. This man played just 3 games, and I'm not even exaggerating, Chelsea don't win the Club World Cup without him. The 2 goals against Fluminense were magic, the kind of goals that no other Chelsea striker is scoring right now. The first one, a goal out of absolutely nothing. And it's not just about the goals. That overlap run he made up to free up space for Palmer, that's the stuff top players do. Smart, unselfish movement. And you could already tell that Palmer is loving life, finally having someone else to take the pressure off his shoulder. In the final, his movement punished the PSG defense. He would drop into midfield, pull a center back with him, and that opened up space for Gusto to attack down Nuno Mendes' side. That's exactly how Chelsea's goals happened. All 3 down Chelsea's right hand side. These are subtle stuff, but it changes the game. That's what makes Joao Pedro so valuable. He's not just a striker. He's like a playmaker in the body of a forward. He plays in between the lines, he helps progress the ball, and links up with everyone around him. He's the bridge between the midfield and the attack, which is something that Dilap and Jackson just don't offer. Those 2 are great at running in behind and stretching the defense. But Joao Pedro, he wants the ball at his feet and knows exactly what to do with it. Just look back at the Palmeiras game. He didn't score, but he was the guy dropping deep, linking passes, then leading the attack. When you let Joao Pedro control the play, good things happen. And the best part, he can score and assist. That's rare. He was Brighton's top scorer and assister in the 2025 season, a complete attacker. Now, will he keep scoring outside the box bangers like the one against Fluminense? Probably not every week. He's not the kind of player who takes a load of long shots, but he is the kind of player who shows up in big moments. He did it at Fluminense in Brazil, he did it at Brighton, especially in the Europa League, and now he's done it on the world stage with Chelsea. Some players just level up when surrounded by better teammates, and Joao Pedro is one of them. And remember, it's a World Cup year. His motivation should be high. He'll want to get on that Brazil team, so we might see the absolute best version of Joao Pedro. Speaking of the Club World Cup, we got a glimpse at another Chelsea player at that tournament. Estevao is a monster. Let's just get that out of the way. Yes, Chelsea have a bunch of different wingers, but none of them have the ceiling that this kid has. Madueke didn't have it, although he's gone. Pedro Neto doesn't have it. Estevao's potential is sky high. Some say that we haven't seen this kind of hype around a Brazilian talent since Neymar. Even players like Vini and Rodrigo didn't get this much attention when they first left Brazil. That says everything. Now, of course, he's still young and raw, but what he's doing is wild. People might say it was just the Brazilian league, but let's not act like that league is a joke. We saw what Brazilian clubs can do in the Club World Cup. They play at a high level, they have real talent, and Estevao still stood out as a teenager. He's got that samba flair. He can dribble out of tight spaces, glide past defenders, and play like a 10 just as easily as he can play out wide. That versatility is scary. Estevao isn't tied to one spot. He can float inside, he can link up with the play, and just create a lot of chaos no matter where he is. It'll be up to Maresca to figure out how to balance all these attacking talents. Just watch what he did at the Club World Cup. Even in defeat, he was the man of the match. He scored a ridiculous equalizer from the tightest angle, completely catching Robert Sanchez off guard. It was Messi-like, and that's why they call him Messinho. Even after the match, you could tell that the Chelsea players were excited. Cole Palmer was the first to greet him. The two are actually quite similar, both left-footed with a skinny frame, but so smooth on the ball that it looks like they're running on water. Against Chelsea, Estevao started out in an attacking midfield role and popped up all over the pitch, especially down the right where he really tormented Cucurella. But what stood out wasn't just his flair, it was the maturity to his game. He would come deep to pick up the ball, drive forward, and then make really smart decisions in the attacking third. He was also willing to work hard off the ball too. Estevao has a great mentality, almost Vini-esque, where no matter what happens, he continues to drive at player. If a move doesn't come off, he doesn't sulk. He gets back up and tries again. With Palmer, Joao Pedro, and Enzo Fernandez, the number 10 role will probably not open up for anybody. But on the right wing, that's where Estevao can really thrive. No more Madueke there, so it will be competition between Pedro Neto and the Brazilian for the starting spot. With so many matches in the year, both will get opportunities. It's important to stay patient though. Even top Brazilian prospects need time. But every Chelsea fan should be excited. There's a reason he was named a phenomenon. When he signed with Chelsea, he was promised a spot competing for the first team, not a loan move or a bench role. He's already shown that he can trouble Premier League defenders. He's already shown that he has the mentality to rise. And with the right coaching and system, Estevao could become one of the best players in the world. The other new player we have to talk about is Liam Dilap. Chelsea desperately needed the signing, a proper out-and-out 9. Yes, he isn't the superstar name everyone expected, but he isn't here to make headlines. He's just here to put in the work. He's young, powerful, and hungry. This is a striker who's already made noise in the Premier League, not playing in a dominant team, but from leading the line for a struggling one. Week after week, Dilap dragged Ipswich forward. He created the chances, he scored the goals, and he kept fighting when everything around him looked hopeless. While some clubs spend big money on average players, Manchester United, Chelsea are taking a smarter route. They're betting on potential, trusting that this raw, fearless talent can can grow into something special. And honestly, the signs are already there. Dilap scored and assisted against Chelsea in the 2025 season, helping Ipswich get their first home Premier League win since 2002 and their first win over Chelsea since 1993. It stung then for Chelsea fans, but now he's on their team. On an Ipswich team that only scored 36 goals all year, Dilap scored 12 of them. That's 1/3 of their goals with very little service. Quite impressive. At Ipswich, he played in a counter-attacking system. His job was very simple: get the ball, drive forward, and cause problems. And he did. He scored 10 goals from open play, averaging 1 goal every 3 games. But what made him stand out is how he was scoring. He was hitting it from distance, sneaking at the back post for tap-ins. He was always moving, always sniffing out a goal. And unlike many strikers who like to drift wide or drop deep, Dilap is a proper number 9. He wants to make runs in behind and really stretch the opposition. The numbers show it too. He makes more forward runs into the box than most strikers. He's always looking to be in the right place at the right time. What's exciting is he's more than just a poacher. Dilap is a hybrid, part old school striker like Drogba or Diego Costa, and part modern forward like Harry Kane, who's comfortable on the ball and can drop deep to carry it up the pitch. And when he starts running, yeah, you're not slowing him down. Dilap loves to pick the ball up in his own half and just take off. He dares defenders to stop him. Statistically, no striker in the Premier League covered more ground per carry than him in the 2025 season. The perfect example of what I'm talking about, his goal against Fulham. He got the ball near the halfway line, shrugged off Andres Pereira, and then rocketed it into the top corner. No build up, no fancy passing, just pure power and drive. He did it all by himself. And you have to wonder, if he can do that without help, imagine what he can do with Palmer and Enzo feeding him. And even though he's great on the ball, his best quality is arguably his work off the ball. He's constantly moving, constantly making runs into dangerous areas. A breakdown of his movement shows that he makes forward runs ahead of the ball 32% of the time, slips in behind the defenders 26% of the time, and attacks crosses into the box 21% of the time. That's a striker who lives in the final third. Now Jackson already made these kind of runs, and Chelsea benefited when he got him behind, stretching the defense, opening up space for Palmer, and creating chances. The issue with Jackson was never his movement. It was his finishing. He'd get in good spots, but didn't always convert. Dilap isn't perfect either, but his ceiling is higher. Look at the numbers. Dilap had more goals, fewer big chances missed, better shot accuracy, and outperformed his expected goal. That means he made the most out of his chances, while Jackson underperformed his expected goals by 2. In fact, Dilap ranked in the top 10 for expected goals over performances in the league. Meanwhile, 3 of Chelsea's attackers were in the top 10 most wasteful. And when it comes to carrying the ball forward, Dilap ranks 2nd in the whole Premier League, only behind Anthony Elanga. Jackson, meanwhile, was 11th. Sure, Jackson can create more and is arguably a better passer, but it's important to remember that Dilap was playing in a team fighting for survival. He didn't have Enzo, Palmer. And speaking of Palmer, let's not forget that he and Dilap have played together before. That chemistry is already there. We saw it at the Club World Cup. Their partnership has the potential to be just as good, if not better, than the one Palmer built with Jackson. This signing is a big win for Chelsea. Many clubs were after Dilap, but Chelsea's Champions League spot and the direction of the club helped seal the deal. Maresca relied heavily on Jackson, but now with Dilap in the squad, Chelsea have another number 9 that they can turn to up front. With the sheer amount of games and different competitions and injuries that always happen, depth is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. And thanks to the release clause, Chelsea got Dilap for an absolute bargain. If that clause didn't exist, Ipswich could have asked for much more. This is a low-risk, high-reward move. If it doesn't work out, they can easily recoup the fee. English strikers are always in demand. But if it does work out, his value will skyrocket. That £30 million will look tiny compared to what he becomes. So while he's not the flashy name everyone hoped for, Liam Dilap might just be the striker that Chelsea have been waiting for. Hungry, powerful, and ready to prove himself. He's the kind of player who can take this team to the next level. Now that we have spoken about the shiny new toys, let's talk about Chelsea's established stars. Let's begin with Caicedo. It wasn't that long ago when people were laughing at Chelsea for spending £150 million on him. Memes everywhere, pundits calling it a panic buy. But now, no one's laughing, because Caicedo has shut them all up. This meme on Twitter perfectly captured Caicedo's performance at the Club World Cup final. João Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, all in top form, all locked up by Caicedo. Every midfielder looks great until they face this Ecuadorian monster. Caicedo is a nightmare matchup for those quick technical midfielders. Why? Well, because he's just as fast, just as agile as them, but way stronger and more aggressive. You try to turn away from him, he's already there. You try to sprint past him, he's already taken the ball. And it makes sense, because he grew up idolizing N'Golo Kante, and now he's walking in his footsteps. Just like Kante, Caicedo covers every blade of grass. He kills off counterattacks before they even begin. But what makes him even more dangerous is what he does after he wins the ball. He plays forward. He doesn't just go sideways. He breaks the lines. He starts attacks on his own. That's why he got multiple assists in the 2025 season, like the ones for Jackson against West Ham and Liverpool. His performance against PSG at the Club World Cup final was like the cherry on top of a brilliant season. I saw people hyping up Vitinha and João Neves like they were Xavi and Iniesta reborn. Some were even saying that Vitinha deserved the Ballon d'Or. Then Caicedo humbled them. He had already started turning heads late in the 2024 season under Pochettino, but under Enzo Maresca, he's gone up to another level. And a part of that is because Chelsea started winning trophies. For holding midfielders, that's when people really start to notice what you do. But more importantly, Maresca trusted him. He put Caicedo at the base of the midfield and let him do what he does best: defend and disrupt the play. And Caicedo repaid that trust by becoming the most reliable player in the squad, top of the league in possessions won in the middle third. No player in the Premier League had made more combined tackles and interceptions. He started all 38 league games. Yes, all of them. That kind of consistency is rare. The last Chelsea player to do that, Dave in 2019. The last midfielder to do it, Frank Lampard in 2005. And let's be honest, Caicedo is built kind of different. I swear this guy is made of rubber or something. I'll see his leg bend in a way that legs are not supposed to bend, and then the next game, he's fine. There were games where he was the glue holding Chelsea's midfield together. He ranked near the top in tackles, tackle win rate, ball recoveries, and interception. His presence gave players like Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer the freedom to push forward. Whether Chelsea used him as an inverted fullback or switch shapes mid-match, Caicedo was the anchor, cleaning up danger, starting attacks, and keeping the balance. Even when Maresca used him as a right back a few times, he still looked elite. He's not flashy. He's not always going to make the headline, but every Chelsea fan, every coach, every teammate of his know how important he was. That's why when it came time to vote for player of the season, there was no debate. He swept all the awards. Caicedo now stands in a legendary line of Chelsea defensive midfielders: Makelele, Matic, Kante, and he's already earned a spot on that list. And the scary part is that he's still nowhere near his prime. He's only going to get better with time and experience. Let's not forget, just a few years ago he was still playing in Ecuador. He hasn't been in top flight football that long, and yet he's already one of the best in the world at what he does. Enzo Maresca called him the best defensive midfielder in the world, and with every match, Caicedo is proving him right. How can we talk about Chelsea's midfield and not mention Enzo Fernandez? This is a player who joined when the club was at rock bottom. I still remember the memes. People were making tables tracking how many times Chelsea lost when Enzo started, as if he was the problem. It didn't matter that he had just won the World Cup and had been named the young player of the tournament. All the noise drowned out the truth. But here's the thing. Football doesn't work like that. No single midfielder is going to fix a broken system all by himself. And that's exactly what Enzo walked into, a team in chaos. Fast forward to now, and with better players around him and a manager who actually believes in him, we are seeing the best version of Enzo Fernandez. Maresca changed everything. He looked at Enzo and didn't see a deep-lying 6. He saw a hybrid between an 8 and a 10, someone who could create, score, and run the game in the final third. And he believed in him so much that he even moved Cole Palmer to the wing at times just to play Enzo through the middle. We saw it in the Club World Cup. Enzo running the show from midfield, creating chances, keeping control. We had also saw it again in the Conference League final before against Real Betis. The plan took some time, but it clicked. Because at the start of the 2025 season, Enzo wasn't in the starting lineup. Maresca benched him for 4 straight league games, saying he preferred the physical presence of Lavia and Caicedo. But Enzo didn't sulk. He proved his worth. And once he came back into the team, playing higher up the pitch, Chelsea's attack opened up. Remember that goal against LAFC in the Club World Cup? That wasn't a fluke. The way he timed his run to finish Dilap's cross was almost identical to his goal against Liverpool in May. It's no accident. He's learned how to arrive at the right moment. By the end of the 2025 Premier League season, Enzo had been directly involved in 13 goals. But for those who actually watch Chelsea play, they'll tell you the stats don't tell the full story. It's the passes that lead to the assists, the perfectly weighted balls that break the press or open space in the final third, like the insane pass he played to Madueke that landed right on his foot in the 6-yard box. You don't see those moments on rating apps, but they matter. And what's crazy is that Enzo's already played more games for Chelsea than he did for River Plate and Benfica combined. That's pretty wild. And many of those games, he was wearing the captain's armband. Maresca calls him a reference on the pitch, a player others look to, not just for his talent, but for his leadership. And after the controversy from last summer's Argentina team bus video, he's shown some real growth. There has been no lasting tension in the dressing room, and Enzo has handled everything with maturity. He's come a long way, from being mocked online to becoming one of the most important players in Maresca's system. He's no longer just a World Cup kid, he's Chelsea's heartbeat in midfield. And now, finally, the world is starting to see it. Can I really make a Chelsea video and not talk about Cole Palmer? I saved him for last because, let's be honest, everybody already knows him. He's not just Chelsea's best player, he's the face of the club. And if things keep going the way they are, I honestly think he can become the face of the Premier League. We're already seeing it. He's starring in Nike ads. he's everywhere. And as they said in the commercial, he's scary good. And once again, in another final, he delivered. 2 goals, 1 assist, best player of the tournament. It doesn't get much better than that. But this isn't new. He was also great in the Conference League final against Betis. It's becoming a pattern now. Palmer steps up when it matters the most. The bigger the game, the better he plays. He's one of those rare players who looks more confident under pressure, not less. That's what makes him so special. As soon as Chelsea entered the business end of the Club World Cup, Palmer elevated his game. He was played out of position on the left against Benfica and still managed to pick up an assist. Then against Palmeiras, it was his moment of magic that opened the scoring. And in the final versus PSG, he straight up embarrassed the Champions League winners, scoring a near identical goal to the one he got earlier in the tournament. Command C, Command V. Copy, paste. And don't forget the assist to Joao Pedro. Palmer picked up the ball on the right, had too much space, and punished PSG. Simple as that. You cannot give a player of this quality that much time. He will make you pay. But Palmer's performance in that final wasn't just about goals and assists. He did a bit of everything. According to The Athletic, no player made more progressive carries than Palmer. No player was involved in more attacking sequences. Like I said, he really was everywhere. Controlling the tempo, breaking the lines, linking up with his teammates. It was the kind of all-around performance you rarely see in a player so young, and he was absolutely worthy of the Player of the Match award. What made it even sweeter was the context. Palmer's form in the Premier League had been a bit up and down, especially later in the season. He started the year on fire. That performance against Brighton was unreal, one of the best individual displays I've seen in a long time. Every time he touched the ball, I was like, yeah, that's probably gonna go in. But after that, he struggled. He looked a shadow of himself. So to see him bounce back, step up on the biggest stage, and carry Chelsea to another trophy, that's star quality. He also has more help now in Joao Pedro and Dilap. It was Dilap's unselfish run that helped Palmer score against Palmeiras. Joao Pedro did the same thing with an overlap against PSG. Then because Maresca has a striker now who is excellent on the ball, his team can play more direct and fast, which again benefits Palmer. If a bad season for him is 18 goals and 14 assists, along with 2 fantastic finals performances that led to 2 trophies, then he really already is a superstar. Now that I've talked about the stars, let's give some love to Chelsea's other players, because they don't win the Club World Cup without them. Let's start with Robert Sanchez. I've criticized him a lot before, and I still don't think he's the elite level keeper that Chelsea need long term. He's had a share of bozo moments, but credit where it's due. His performance at the Club World Cup was top class. It wasn't just the saves. It was his kicking and long passing that really helped Chelsea go direct and attack the space in behind in the final. Without Sanchez's ability to play out from the back, Chelsea wouldn't have been able to target PSG's left flank so easily. So yeah, props to him. Then Reece James, what more can you say? Whether he's at right back or tucking into midfield, he just oozes quality. He's very calm, he's powerful. The only thing that has been holding him back is his body. Wrap him in bubble wrap, stick him in an ice chamber, just keep this guy fit, because he's genuinely one of the best players in the world when he's healthy. Now to the biggest rage baiter in football, Marc Cucurella. I'd absolutely hate to play against him. He's annoying in the best way. He's always in your face, always intense, and never lets up. Just ask Raul Neves. Dude nearly got his hair yanked off. Cucurella's turnaround has been wild. At one point, it looked like Brighton had scammed Chelsea, but now he's been the best left back at both the Euros and the Club World Cup. He plays with heart, he knows what he's good at, and doesn't try to do too much. That kind of self-awareness is rare, and that's why it makes him so important. Pedro Neto also deserves his flowers. He was scoring for fun in the early rounds of the Club World Cup, and his speed with and without the ball has become a big weapon for Maresca. He's earned the manager's trust, and you can see why. When he's on the pitch, Chelsea have an extra gear going forward. And let's not forget the center backs. Levi Colwill has been solid, calm on the ball, physically strong. He's getting better game by game. And then there's Trevor Chalobah. His story needs more love, man. Chelsea sent him out on loan, treated him like he wasn't part of the future, but he stayed professional, didn't complain, and waited for his chance. And when he got called back, he took that chance and established himself as a starter. He's been rock solid, reading the game well, making clutch tackles, and showing the kind of loyalty and mentality every club needs. It's not easy to come back into a team that gave up on you and still give everything, but Chalobah did that. These are the kind of players that hold the squad together. Maybe they're not always in the spotlight, but they step up when it matters the most. Chelsea may have their stars, but it's the team as a whole that helped them win their trophies. They were also helped by Maresca. To see how good the Italian manager has been and why his game plan isn't a fluke, you have to check out this video right here.